am having, Mac.
Okay, so hear me out. Sonic Frontiers is already a great game. If you know me, this is my thoughts. You know how I feel. You know that this is my favorite Sonic game ever. That said, this game reintroduced Supersonic at its fullest potential. It is the best iteration of Supersonic ever. The story itself made me proud to be a Sonic fan once again, and same with the characterization for most of, if not all of the characters. Completely new gameplay style that felt fresh and innovative. Also, like, I have to mention this, I have literally never played a game quite like this one ever before. I mean, just running around as Sonic is so much fun. The original soundtrack for the game is amazing as well, and I think every single vocal track is easily some of Sonic's best, and I would even argue it was robbed from a couple of awards. That in mind, I think Sonic Frontiers lays the foundation for something even greater. Now, no matter how you may feel about the game, this is the truth. There are so many wonderful ideas laid down here, and this is truly just the beginning. There is so much more untapped potential that this game has that could be embarked in a potential sequel. This is how a Sonic Frontiers sequel would be perfect. I could have easily just went and made this video and talked about what I think could be improved upon for the next Sonic Frontiers game, but that just didn't sound as interesting as I would have liked it to be. Instead, I created a proposal for what my ideal version of a Sonic Frontiers sequel would be. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is my proposal. If I was directing the sequel for Sonic Frontiers, this is the exact game that I would create. Let me know in the comment section down below if this is something that you would like to see after I tell you everything I have to say. But before that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe on the video and turn on the post notifications bell, that way you never miss a video from me. You guys do not want to miss what I have to say. Anyway, to begin my proposal, I have an idea in which we start off with multiple playable characters. I know that the DLC for the original Sonic Frontiers will be releasing multiple playable characters, those likely being Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, and I think that's great, as that's coming out in Wave 3 with an entirely new story. That said, I feel like it would be even better if we started with that out the gate. In the sequel for Sonic Frontiers, I don't know what we'll call it, maybe like Sonic Frontiers Adventure or something. We can have characters like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy be playable right out the gate. And that said, I feel like we shouldn't shy away from using fan favorite characters as background or side characters either. I mean, like, you name drop Cream and Sticks, why not have them in the next one? That said, I feel like this game should also have DLC because it allows the game to pretty much have a longer lifetime. I mean, imagine getting content like a Team Dark storyline with Shadow, Rouge, and Omega. I mean, it would tie nicely in with the future upcoming Sonic the Hedgehog movie because by the time the game is released, Shadow hype will be going crazy. As if it couldn't even be more possible, but Shadow will become a more popular character than ever before, and he's already the second most popular in the entire franchise. Could you imagine what this movie is going to do for this character's reputation? I literally cannot wait because I am a huge Shadow the Hedgehog fan. But moving on, I think that Sonic Frontiers 2 should get rid of cyberspace boost levels. And I want to put the emphasis on boost levels because I think it'd be even cooler if we kept cyberspace to some degree, but instead changed the levels to be similar to that of the Werehog in Sonic Unleashed. But instead of the Werehog, you have modern Sonic using the combat system introduced in Frontiers. He can move around kind of like he does in Frontiers Open Zone as well as adventure games, similar to that degree. In all honesty, I mean, this might be just my own personal bias because I really didn't care much about cyberspace even when it was initially announced. It just kind of seemed boring. Like, I didn't really care about getting the same old boost levels. I was more intrigued by the open zone and what the combat had to offer. So I feel like you can really capitalize on that experience here in the cyberspace. And maybe you can put, like, you know, the boost levels in some sort of arcade mode, or better yet, bring back 2D boost Sonic games like Sonic Rush. I mean, these games have been dead for years, why not have them come back? People like these boost levels, and I think that should definitely get its own game. I would even say that if we're going to keep the boost levels in the first place, what if we did some sort of online or just regular local multiplayer like Sonic Adventure 2 Battle? Something like that where I can race against someone else. That'd be so much fun. I think that would really bring a whole uniqueness to the boost levels and make me really appreciate them once more. Since we're already on the topic of the gameplay, let me replay boss battles. Now, I feel like this is already going to happen for the DLC for the initial Sonic Frontiers game, and I don't know, maybe like Wave 1 or something, but I feel like this should be just kind of a thing right out the gate, because the Titan bosses were the highlights of Frontiers, and it is criminal that I have to restart the entire game to play them again. If they can make them again to this magnitude, and have them feel this climactic, then I'm going to need to be able to replay these bosses at any point in time, not when I have to replay the entire game in order to do it again, because that's just time consuming. Also, a more intense difficulty would be amazing. And I'm not even sure if we're going to be fighting Titan bosses in the sequel. I don't know what the story kind of holds, but I don't think it would be Titans. It'd probably be like giant Eggman mechs or something. And I feel like that can be just as cool, but make them super climactic and also really engaging. I feel like one of the biggest reasons we won't see Titans in the sequel for Sonic Frontiers is basically just because like it wouldn't make any more sense for the story to continue to have them, considering they only made what, like 4 of them. Why would they have any more after that? I mean, they weren't in that storyline at all. And speaking of the story, I feel like the story needs to be definitely a bit more cohesive. Like, I feel like we need to be more direct with what we tell. Sonic Frontiers' story is good, but the way it was told was just a little confusing in my opinion. I mean, it took me multiple playthroughs to figure it out, and even then, I still got some of the information wrong. And I think Eggman logs are cool, but I feel like you should keep those, like, not story relevant. Like, use the Eggman logs to give more insight into Eggman's thoughts on his previous failures, interactions with other characters, and relationships with these said characters. Do something like that, but don't make them so reliant on the story that I need to get them in order to piece all the information together. It makes things a little messy. The next part of my proposal might be a little bit controversial, but I feel like it'd be amazing if we got to see more Sonic-like environments. I mean, Frontier's whole purpose was thrusting Sonic into an unfamiliar terrain with his friends locked up in cyberspace. I mean, it'd be cool to mix it up this time by having Sonic explore familiar and perhaps even fan-favorite locations. I mean, could you imagine exploring the entire area of City Escape in a 3D setting like this? I mean, that'd be amazing. It would also be cool to get some kind of variety as well. I mean, there was a Tales tube kind of breaking down Sonic's world and how, like, the animal people live on, like, the smaller islands and the humans live on, like, these bigger parts of the world, the continents or whatever. It'd be cool if, like, we had terrains where it was the smaller islands as well as some of the bigger continents as well, where we can interact with people as well as animal characters too. For this perfected version of Sonic Frontiers, the sequel, if you will, I am going to be changing a lot of things, but I feel like there's also quite a bit that's going to stay the same. Like, for example, to its core, I would keep the leveling up system, but instead of collecting Cocoa for speed, why not gather Power Sneakers? Don't ever do that leveling up one by one crap ever again though, that's disgusting. That said, I would keep using the defense and power seeds because I don't think there's really any valid reason to stop using them. I mean, I think you can easily say they exist in the traditional Sonic world, like, you know, the one that's not Chronos Island, but I feel like to continue using Coco is like a little weird considering the fact they really only exist on the, you know, Starfall Islands. They wouldn't be on Sonic's main habitual world. On that note, keep Big's fishing minigame. Honestly, Big should just be in like every single Sonic game going forward. He was a main character in SA1, and in SA2 he was a background character for like no reason at all, but he was in like every single level. There really is no reason for them to keep doing this, but in all honesty, it's just funny, so I'd say just do it. The last thing I want to add for my proposal is that I feel like they should keep customizations, but do more. I mean, everybody was fooled, myself included, that we were going to see some super cool customization options, but instead we only got like 5 of them. I was expecting like a little, you know, shop in-game where I can just go ahead and use my rings or whatever and buy them. Why not do something like that? I mean, we have like a plethora of options in games like Sonic Forces, and I'd even argue that TSR had a fair amount of options too, and also Colors Ultimate. But I feel like we didn't get as creative as we could have with Sonic Frontiers in terms of the customization. Like, it'd be really cool if there was like a little shop in each area you can go to in the game, and there's like maybe like a Chow or something running the store, and you can just go ahead and buy something from them, and there you go, you got your outfit. And you of course would use rings or maybe other collectible items to buy this, I'm not sure. I mean, they had the purple rings for Big's Fishing, maybe you have like a separate ring option or coin option that you can have to buy these outfits. And while we're on the note of Chow, you need to have a Chow Garden again. People were expecting a Cocoa Garden for this game, but we didn't get that, so why not just give us a proper Chow Garden once again? But that's pretty much my entire proposal for a Sonic Frontiers sequel and how it would be perfect. In all honesty, Sega does not have to do anything I said in this proposal at all. I feel as though it's basically guaranteed at the very least that the next game after this one will be better than its predecessor, especially if it's following the same gameplay format but just improving upon it. But now I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on my Sonic Frontiers sequel proposal? Do you think that it would be perfect, or do you think otherwise? Let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. Anyway, thank you all again so much for watching. This is Sonic signing out. Have a super blessed day, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.
Why are you playing that trash?